My name's Alicia Kissel. I'm a senior evangelist at Kenzie Academy. I'm really excited to be talking with you all today. All of you JAG students across Indiana, it's my pleasure to be walking with you through your college search process. I've been in admissions and recruitment for a while now. I was at Marian University prior to this doing very similar work. And before that, I was at Marian as a student. My degree is in communication. I was on the speech and debate team. I was in music. I was a tutor. So I had a very rich traditional college experience. But even then, I didn't know that I had chosen my right fit until about 2 years in. That's like throwing $80,000 at something and hoping that it works out. So I made the mistake so that you don't have to. I am here as a resource to you in your post-high school search and your college search in general, so that you hopefully find that right fit before you get to that actual place. So if you find your second home at the end of the day, whether it's the workforce, a college alternative like Kenzie Academy, or college itself, I am happy at the end of the day. So again, it's my pleasure to be here with you, and I'm so excited to tell you more about Kenzie Academy. So Kenzie Academy is a coding and design college alternative. We offer remote and in-person programs in 2 years. So those include software engineering, user experience engineering, and digital marketing. And I promise I will go over what those are here in just a bit. Also know that we do offer degree pathways now in less than 4 years in computer science and business. So I want to let you know a little bit about what Kenzie Academy is not. We are not a 4-year college or university because there are jobs available in the tech industry right now, and we want to get you out into those jobs as quickly as possible. We are also not a coding boot camp, which is typically a short-term learning experience where you're taking in information about coding, but it might not necessarily have an apprenticeship or real-world experience attached to it. And we're not that because we want to make sure that you have time to absorb the information, become true experts, and have that apprenticeship, which is again, real world experience. So why does Kenzie Academy even exist? Well, our founders, Chuck and Rayhan, recognized that for some reason, there was tech jobs and people to fill those jobs on the coastal areas of the US. I'm talking like San Francisco Bay in California. They call it Silicon Valley. It's a global tech hub, and also like New York City, Boston, and DC. So the West Coast and the East Coast is where these jobs and people are concentrated. So what this means is that tech jobs are not spread evenly across the Midwest, and this is a problem. The mission of Kenzie Academy at the heart is to spread tech jobs evenly across the Midwest. And also people in Indiana are really hard workers. They're executors. And so we all have the ability to change the trajectory of our lives, and tech brings opportunity to the people that it touches. So that's why Kenzie Academy exists, because of and for us as Hoosiers. So now we're going to hear from a JAG student. His name is Dean, and Dean goes to Greenfield Central High School. Dean is starting in October at Kenzie Academy in software engineering, and has also been recently awarded the $10,000 JAG scholarship. So I hope that you all will follow in Dean's footsteps.
I wasn't doing much before Kenzie. I just did a lot of basic high school curricular things, but just high school student took up a lot of the time. Before Kenzie, I actually considered going into the Navy to do the medical field. It was very busy, it was high energy, which I really liked, but it's also the same here at Kenzie. That's also that busy, you're always moving, hands-on kind of experience. I think the thing that made me want to attend Kenzie was definitely the overall environment of it. I definitely love the city. That city vibe definitely adds a good feel to it, but overall it doesn't feel like a school. It feels more like a workplace, more like an open office with a lot of open people as well. Definitely sold the deal. I think I chose software engineering, in particular, was because of how hands-on it was. It was very, you're able to sit and communicate with such, a small focus, a small group. I think the big thing I want to accomplish is just getting new skills. Definitely getting that kickstart in the career, getting ahead of the game before everyone else. That's definitely a big thing. So being able to keep those skills while also having a good time and learning and having it not feel so much like school, but definitely, a new environment to grow in. I'm Dean. I was a high school student, and now I'm a software engineer.
So, also want to talk about why technology. Whether or not you've ever considered working in tech as a career before, it's important to think about it now. Why? Well, in tech, there are lots of jobs. There are 4,000 open tech jobs in Indiana right now. There will be a projected 1 million unfilled tech jobs in the US by 2020. Less than a year away, there's going to be a huge amount of jobs that there are not the people to fill them. So what does this mean for you if you get in now, which is still considered early? This means that you have your pick of some of the best tech companies to work for. And I have a friend, her name is Brooklyn, and she works for a tech company based out of Atlanta, but she lives in downtown Indianapolis. So in addition to when they just hired her, giving her a great salary and letting her travel all across the US for projects, they also were like, here's a $750 gift card, buy whatever you want for your home office. Can you imagine just getting like a new job and being like, oh, we're so happy that you're working with us. Get whatever you need to make sure that your space is right for you. Also, in tech, there is high pay potential. Are you hoping to make money over the course of your lifetime and never worry about bills ever? Because if you are, then you should think about tech a little bit more seriously. The average Indiana resident in technology makes $73,000 per year. Tech is also non-traditional. What do I mean by this? That the industry itself does not adhere to societal norms as much. Let's take degrees, for example. We've all been told that a degree is going to be the key to success in life. However, this is not always true for everyone. But 65% of job descriptions out there today list that a degree of some sort is required for you to even be basic level eligible. However, Google and Apple no longer require their applicants to have degrees. Google and Apple, the biggest of big tech companies, now acknowledge that a single sheet of paper, not a great indicator of if you will be a leader, let alone at least a good contributor to their companies. Tech is also informal or flexible. What do I mean by this? Well, I want you to think about the kind of work lifestyle you were hoping for once you got out into the workforce, whether that's after high school, after college, whatever. What about the time of day and the days of the week that you would like to work? Do you want the standard Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. with an hour lunch? Do you want to make sure there are boundaries between you and your company? Like, don't contact me before 8, don't call me after 5, I will not answer, right? I'm out there living my life. So that also is a potential option. Do you want to set your own hours? Maybe work in the evenings, maybe sleep in. I am not all there at 8 a.m. in the morning. I don't know about you. So, like I said, in tech, it's a little more flexible. What about your actual space that you were hoping to work in? Think about that. Maybe, did you want to be in a cubicle where there are walls around you and you have the same desk and the same people around you every single day? Did you want to be in a more collaborative workspace where there are couches and beanbag chairs and collaborative desks and TVs and video games, those kinds of things, right? Information and ideas flowing freely. Did you want to work from home, right? From the comfort of your own couch? What would that look like? Well, say your workday starts at 9 a.m. and you get to work remote for your company. So this means that you can set your alarm for 8:59, open your laptop next to you, log in, and congratulations, you're a minute early to work. You're still in your bed, you're still in your pajamas, but as long as you're getting your work done, nobody cares. Also, as if all these things weren't already so great, the thing that I love the most about the tech industry is that it is a place that values diversity and practices inclusion. So, if you wanted a seat at the table and to not only be heard but also valued for what you bring to the table, then you must consider the tech industry. And I have a story to back this up. So I was at the CDC recently, and I bet that a lot of you were there as well. Congratulations on all that hard work that you did. So I was at a CDC and talking to a student about his brother who works at Developer Town. Now, Developer Town is a coding company based in Indianapolis, and I knew about that place, so I was like, oh yeah, tell me more about your brother. And he was like, well, he started making around $50,000 a year, and in less than 2 years was able to get raises up to $65,000 a year. And just as a side note, that does not happen in the workforce. That is very out of the ordinary to get raises like that in such a short span of time. So I was like, wow, that's really good for your brother. And he was like, yeah, he's 20. Your brother is 20 years old and making $65,000 a year. Can you imagine being 20 years old and walking into any other professional setting, whether that's a school and you're supposed to be in the classroom, whether that's a company and you're going into an important business meeting, or in a hospital and you walk into a surgical room at 20 years old and being completely respected for what you bring? Absolutely not. You would first be laughed at and then asked to leave the room until you have proper credentials and years worth of hard work. This is not the way that it is in the tech industry. Once you have demonstrated your skill set, you are a valued and respected member of a team, regardless of who you are. So Kenzie Academy offers various 2-year programs as well as degree pathways in computer science and business. We're going to focus right now on the certificate programs that we offer. And I just want to let you know that you don't have to have any experience in any of our programs in order to succeed in them. So my plea to you is please do not take yourself out of the conversation before it has even started. So let's get started. First was software engineering. That's our most popular program that we offer at Kenzie Academy, and those students are learning how to code or build apps and websites from scratch with programming language. And for the first 6 months of the 2-year program, students are focusing on front-end development, learning programming languages like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. In the second 6 months, our students are learning back-end development. You would master Python during that time as the main language. And then in the second year is an apprenticeship, which is essentially just real-world experience. So you would be doing mock projects that would simulate a real-world experience or have an actual real-world experience where our partners are hiring you to do projects for them. And you graduate with a whole portfolio full of work that you've already done. This portfolio is what matters when you walk into job interviews. It's great that you might have a degree, a certificate, a resume, or all of the above. However, these are just pieces of paper that tell an employer you can do something. This portfolio is a physical demonstration that you can and you have, and you can talk intelligently about all the experiences that you did during that time and what you learned. So our next program that we offer is user experience engineering. So in the real world, you would take the new apps and websites from the software engineers and then you pass them over to the user experience people. What do they do? Well, they're going to be the ones who are designing those apps and websites, right? Not just to make them pretty, but also to make them easy to use for average everyday people like you and me. Now, I want you all also to think about what's a favorite app that you like to use every single day? What are the main colors of the app? What's the icon? What do you go to that app for, and what do you like about using it, right? Are there circles once you get to the app and those are the buttons? Are there lines for the menu side of things to get you to other pages, or wireframes is what they call them in user experience language? So if you were able to take Snapchat, for example, the colors are yellow and white. The icon is a ghost, right? And you go to Snapchat for building an online community, right? And the big thing about Snapchat is that the pictures and the videos don't last forever. It's an in-the-moment snap of what's going on in your life, right? And so obviously when you click the little chat bubble, it takes you to the wireframe that includes your chats, right? Your messages with your friends. And you can click on, if there's a circle there, that means that there's a story to click on, right? Or if it's a Bitmoji of a friend, that kind of thing. And in our program, you also, to be successful as a UX or user experience engineer, you need to be empathetic, meaning that you need to be able to put yourself in the shoes of someone who is not you. Because it'd be kind of silly if you only created an app or a website just for yourself. You're creating them for the masses, so you have to be thinking about how others and how they might navigate the world as well. In our program, you do 6 months of design work, so you can access your creative side during that time. And then you also do 6 months of front-end development, and you have some coding background as well. And finally, we have digital marketing, which is kind of as it sounds, right? You're using marketing concepts and fundamentals to make sure that you are building content for your company and your customer to know that your company exists, right? So building out content might mean maybe there's like a poster or an ad that you need to get together, or maybe there's a video that you need to edit where you're interviewing someone at your company or a customer to get more customers, right? So it's all these different kinds of things. Our students also go a little deeper into data analysis, also things like paid search and paid social. Have you heard of that before? Paid search or paid social? If you haven't, you have definitely experienced it. So say you want to go on a campus tour at a college and you go to their website to schedule this tour, right? So you start typing in your information and then all of a sudden a friend texts you. So you're like, I'll go ahead and do that later, right? So you start texting with your friend and then you're like, I'm gonna go scroll on Facebook for a little bit. So you're scrolling, right? And then 5 minutes in, you see an ad from that college pop up. You're like, that's weird. So then you go to Instagram and you go scroll there for a little bit. There's a different ad, but for that exact same college. What? And then you go to YouTube and your third video in, you see another ad and you can't even skip it to get to your next video. How did they get your information? You were on their website even for a small amount of time, and they were able to capture your information and then also know, based on other websites that you might have visited, that you also might like to know about them. So if you felt like the internet has been following you lately, it's because that it has, right? And if you felt like it's been listening to you a little bit lately, also true. So my question to you is, wouldn't you rather be controlling the technology instead of it disrupting your life? This is what digital marketers do almost every single day, right? And think about it. How many ads do you see and hear in a single day? Now, how many do you remember? So you're constantly bombarded with all of these advertisements. So that's why digital marketers need to be creative, because they have to be on the cutting edge of innovation all the time to not only catch, but maintain your customers' attention. So in our program, you do 6 months of digital marketing work, and then you transition between either 6 months of user experience design from our UX program, which will definitely make you a better digital marketer if that's what you want to be, or you can choose 6 months of front-end development. So it's kind of like a combo type of program. You can do digital marketing with design or digital marketing with some coding as well. So if you get anything from this presentation today, please know that it is not just what you know that's going to help you get a job. It is also who you know that's going to help support you while you're in the job search. And so Kenzie Academy recognizes this by giving you the power of the network. Kenzie Academy acknowledges that the power of the network is ultimately going to support you in the job search, so we bring in guest lecturers as well as people in high places and CEOs of companies to talk to you and engage with you on a personal level. So take, for example, the founder of Travelocity and founding chairman of Kayak.com, Terry Jones. He was on our campus last year talking about what's new in the tech industry and what's to come in the industry itself. Also, we have had the Waltons who run Walmart on our campus. We've had a senior manager from Apple. And if the Chan Zuckerberg initiative sounds familiar to anyone, that's Facebook's foundation. They have been to Kenzie Academy's campus, and they are the kind of people who want to get to know you while you're a Kenzie Academy student. So now we're gonna talk a little bit about cost, right? And like I said about me, I went through a traditional college experience and invested a lot, and please know that every single one of you are worth investing in, but maybe not to your detriment once you leave that place of education. Kenzie Academy costs $24,000 total, not per year. Because we cannot be added on the FAFSA yet, we offer an income share agreement, or ISA for short, and Purdue University actually also offers an ISA, which we are super happy about because it makes education accessible immediately. With our ISA, you put down $100 to reserve your spot in an incoming cohort. Again, we cap cohorts at 25, so they are not unlimited spots. You have to reserve yours early. Then you start the Kenzie program. Go the entire 2 years, graduate, have a 3-month grace period where all this money you make in that time is totally yours, and then you start paying us back. But only if you're making $40,000 a year or more. So, if you're not yet making $40,000 a year or more, you are not yet paying us back. We ensure that you are making a living wage before you begin to pay back on tuition. This is important to us. We want to hold ourselves accountable so that our success is directly tied to yours as the student. We don't get paid until you do. And just FYI, in general, in the college search process, you might have applied to a college or university, hopefully been admitted after submitting transcripts and test scores. Then you might submit applications for scholarships, gotten those, submitted the FAFSA, and then you would get a financial aid package. On this financial aid package, it might list tuition up at the top and room and board if you're there. Then it would list federal student loans, which on average are $5,500 a year that you can accept or decline to help pay for tuition. Then you would see any state scholarships, like 21st Century Scholars would be listed there. Any scholarships that you got from that college or university. You take this total cost at the top, subtract all of this aid, you get your out-of-pocket cost at the bottom. Before you do anything with this number, I want you to factor in books, which average $1,200 a year, average in if tuition has raised at that college or university in the recent past, which is likely, add in transportation costs, parking fees, and general spending, because it's college. You want to have a good time, right? Now you take this number and multiply it by 3, 4, 5, and 6. The four-year college student is a myth. This is your total cost. Again, quite an investment. And like I said, you're worth investing in. But you have options. What does this mean for you if you go to Kenzie Academy and you take out the ISA? This means in 1-2 years, you are done with our program. If you get our JAG scholarship, which is $10,000 for JAG seniors and also $5,000 for JAG alumni in the last 10 years, then you could be done paying us back in 1, 2, 3 years. So again, the point is you have options. And like I said, we also offer a JAG scholarship. Again, for seniors graduating in 2019, that would be $10,000 off of your tuition of $24,000. So your total cost over 2 years would just be $14,000. And then for JAG alumni, we also have a $5,000 scholarship as well. So if you have any friends who are also in the JAG program, you can tell them about us as well. And you just go to our website under scholarships and you can find the JAG scholarship and apply today. It just takes you completing that application and having your JAG specialist submit a letter of recommendation for you. We are only awarding 20 scholarships for graduating JAG seniors and JAG alumni. So you want to make sure that if Kenzie Academy is your right fit, that you're applying right away. Also know that to receive the JAG scholarship, you must be taking the in-person version of our program. However, we do offer remote programs where you can be from the comfort of your own home, live on your computer every single day from 9 to 3 and getting very similar content. And you can take out the ISA if you need to, regardless of what your tuition amount is. So our general enrollment process includes, if you are not a senior, you can come visit us anytime. I am also able to complete virtual tours if you're not able to make it to campus right away, but would still like to see and hear a little bit more about Kenzie Academy. So we also have shadow experiences where if you want to sit with a Kenzie student and see what it's actually like to be in software or user experience engineering, that you're welcome to do that as well. You just have to call, text, or email me anytime. Now the process for you you seniors, there's still absolutely time to apply for our July and October cohorts. Again, we cap them at 25 though, so now is the time to act. So we can go through the process, which will include you applying, which is completely free on our website, and there are no essays. It just takes about 10 minutes. Then you do not need to submit your transcripts or test scores. I don't want them. We determine admission in an in-person interview, or we can complete that remotely as well. We'll ask you a series of problem-solving questions that relate to your area of interest, and then let you know admission within 24 hours. We move very quickly as a tech startup. Then you would submit the JAG scholarship. I would let you know if you've received that, and we would have a conversation, me, you, and a family member, to talk about how you're gonna pay for that. We can either do full tuition up front, a monthly payment plan over 12 months, or the income share agreement works as well. So that's essentially our process, and you can reach out to me anytime that you have questions about that. Our Kenzie Academy students are getting jobs right when they graduate. A majority of our graduates are making anywhere from $50,000 to $70,000 a year once they exit Kenzie Academy. So now we get to hear from Maya, who graduated recently from our user experience program, and I hope you enjoy.
My Kenzie experience has been a really good one. I started off at Kenzie in the software engineering cohort with cohort 1. And partway through my time here at Kenzie, I decided that I really love coding in the front end, and I don't really want to focus so much on the back end, and I really missed having that creative artistic side that I grew up with, so I decided to join the UX cohort. So after our graduation this morning, I actually start my job this afternoon, so I'll be heading there shortly. I'll be working for Crafted LLC, which is a small agency in downtown Indianapolis. I'll be there as a UX engineer, so I'll be doing design for them as well as some React development. If I could say anything to someone who's thinking about coming to Kenzie, it'll definitely be, don't be afraid to try something new and something different. Before Kenzie, I was a teacher. Before that, I have a science degree, and this is completely different from all of that. My name is Maya. I was a middle school teacher. Now I'm a UX engineer.
So that pretty much wraps up our presentation for today. Hopefully you also get to see the virtual tour of campus, and you all are welcome to reach out to me anytime via call, text, or email. My number is 812-215-0346, and my email is Alicia, A-L-E-C-I-A, at Kenzie, K-E-N-Z-I-E.academy, A-C-A-D-E-M-Y. So again, it's Alicia at Kenzie.academy, or you can call or text me at the number as you have questions moving forward. And specialists in the classroom, feel free to also reach out to me anytime that you or your students have questions. I'm happy to walk with you through this college search process and your post-high school process in general. So again, thanks so much for your time, and I hope to see you at Kenzie Academy very soon.